Hey, this is Mike Lang with Canine Zeal, and today I'm going to show you how to edit text on your pages and how do you design your page in the first place. So I'm going to look over here at a screen here, and I have already logged in and I've looked at my kennel. So right from your login page, you'll have a list of your kennels. Go to details on that. Now on this page it starts with our recent litters. That's most recent by birth date. Our recent dogs. This is most recent by birth date as well, I believe. And we've got stories, which we'll talk about in some other video. And if we go to manage dogs, we can see all of our dogs. And now this is a list of every dog in the kennel. So I scroll down, this is quite a few in this one. If you want to filter it like this, it can get really hard to filter through here. Make sure you use your filters on the side. You could say you want to see champions only, or ones that are not champions, or ones that have had a title or don't have a title. So on and so forth. There's a lot of stuff. You could search by what title it might have, or for part of the name. This is probably the most common one. So I'm going to look for Tori. So T-O, and just as I'm typing, it's already filtering the list on the right. So I'm just going to keep going until I get down to the one. This is the one I want. One thing I might want to do is I might want to view this. Normally just click on it, but I want to keep this one open and edit on a different window. So if you, on either design page or view, you can right click on the button and say open a new tab. That will keep this page open so you can refer back to it. Maybe you're going to compare things page to page, but it opened a new tab up here for Tori. From this page, you could edit the pedigree or regenerate it. You can edit things about the dog. I'll leave that for other videos. Right now we want to get into designing the page. So I'm going to go and click that button. And here's the general design page layout. There's a couple main elements in here. At the very top, you see there's where preview, save changes, and there's this blue bar here. Everything above the blue bar is just editor controls for the whole page. Everything below here is what's on the page. So like what would be on a final page that your end users and the public would see. So, and as I scroll, the toolbar stays at the top. All it does is it scrolls the preview and save changes out of view to just take a little less room, but the toolbar stays in place as I'm scrolling on the page. Right, so you can scroll anywhere and these tools stay the same. Now up here in the toolbar, we've got social page preview, or page social preview. This is what will appear in a search engine, or if you share this page on Facebook. Not this page I'm editing, but when I say preview page and the page that the public sees, because this is the admin view where you're editing a page, and then the final page that people will actually see. If people share that page, the page social preview section shows what will go in the share title, the share description, and what picture will appear. Now if you don't pick a picture and you don't pick a title, the title defaults to the name of the page. That was created from the name of the dog. The picture, it will, by default, we'll look down the page and try to find the first slideshow picture. And if there's not one, we'll try to use the banner picture, which is less ideal because it's the wrong shape for a social share. So it's better if you just come in here and you just pick which photo you wanted to be in the social share. So try that out. Share description is optional, but it's a little extra info. If you do a Google search result for your dog, like it'll show up right there on the page in the Google search result. So, you know, it's recommended. Take the most important content from your page and just pop it in there. It is a limited number of characters, I believe, to 100 and something characters, so it'll turn red if it's too many characters and you got to edit it down. So that part's pretty easy. Blocks, this is things you can put on your page. So a widget, a block, a lot of website builders use different terms for that. But so like there's a rich text. So if I want to add some text to the page, I can drag one of these on the page. Or if I want a banner, that's what this section is at the top. The hero banner is like a picture with text on top is what a hero banner is. That's just a general design term. A dog banner is one specific to a dog. So this is what we're going to use in dog pages. And your dog page will come with this. So in this particular page is mostly as it was where it was generated. Actually, I'll show a different one. This one is a page that will generate automatically for you. So it'll come with the dog banner. It'll come with the dog summary. This is information you've edited on your admin pages. It'll come with a photo section. This is all the pictures you've uploaded for this dog. And it will come with who the siblings are, and it will come with their pedigree. That's and a footer that has navigation to all the other champion dogs and your litters. So that is what comes with the page, but you're probably going to want to add something. You might want to add some text. So like there's not really many text blocks in this page, but if you come over and look at this other one I have for Lacey, I've got some text at the top. I've got some text below this dog info. I've got some, well, maybe not on that page, who's this? This is Dion. There's more information here. One of these I put some information in the sibling section. We might see that as we go through. Well, you might want to add some text to the page. So I'm going to show how we did that. And so I'm going to start with one that we have here and just show how to replicate what's here now. So I'm looking at Lacey's page, and this text block here was not here when I started the page. So I'm going to show how did I get it here. And just a little cheat, I want to copy the text because I don't want to retype that. Okay, I'll show how I clicked on that just in a minute. So I'm just going to delete it just so it's like it was when we started. All right, so now if I want to add a text box to the page, I'm going to go to blocks. This is the types of things we can add to the page, remember. So rich text, this is like stuff you would do it on a Word doc or something, right? So I'm going to take one of these, and any of these widgets you can just click and drag them down the page. So that means I clicked mouse down on it, but I didn't let go of the mouse button, and I'm dragging it down to where I want on the page. Now you see these yellow boxes down here. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here. These are where about you want the content on the page. I want it before this item, after this item, or after this item. And so on and so forth down the page. Every block on the page will have a yellow box before and after it. So I'm going to say I want to put it before this. So I'm going to let go of my mouse button with my cursor over the yellow box. And now it popped in this rich text widget above it. And it has a whole bunch of sample text in it just so you can see how to format stuff, just to give you some ideas. You don't have to keep any of this content that came in here. So there's different ways you can do headings. If you put a hash symbol in front of a line of text, it becomes a heading. And as we can see here, what the different heading levels look like, heading 1 level through heading 6, and then the number of hash marks you put in front is how small it gets. So the longer you make the hash mark, the smaller the heading is. So it's level 1 through 6. So that's headings. We've got a horizontal rule, which you just put 2 dashes and it puts this horizontal rule on the page. All right. Emphasis types. So we've got bold text, italic text. If you want anything in bold, you surround it in stars. If you want anything in italic, you can surround it in underscores, and you can actually also do single stars, will also be italic. Either one of those works. Block quotes, down here where it's indented, it's got this little line on the left. You just do that with these little carrots in front, little right arrow pointing carrots. And doing one of them is a single level quote, and 2 of them in front makes it a double level, so and so forth. Next thing, how about lists? We've got unordered lists, ordered lists, and you can start numbering at a different number if you don't want to start at 1 with the numbered list. So this shows some samples of some characters you can put in front of a line of text and makes it a bullet point instead of just instead of a plain paragraph. So plus, minus, or star will all create the same bullet list. So it's whatever character preference you have. So this shows a couple samples with those different characters, and it shows that they all do the same thing. Nesting levels is just that you put a space in front of one of these. So this one is the first one that's indented. If I go down just one line. Multiple levels deep works too. This is has 1 space character in front of it, and so down here it shows multiple levels deep is indented under the one before it. So this is how you indent bullets. You can indent multiple levels deep. Now if you want to do the ordering, you just put a line with a number and a dot in front of it. Now, interestingly, they don't even have to be sequential. So I can do, every bullet point can start with 1 dot, but it still numbers it 1, 2, 3, etc. I can put these 2 and then 1, or I can do 1, 4, 6, 2. It doesn't matter what order I go down, it'll still number them correctly in the correct order in your numbered list on the page. But if you say you wanted to start with that later number, say you wanted to start with 2, or you wanted to start with 5, because maybe further up was another bullet list and you're continuing that, you can just start with your first number being the number you want to start with. So 57 dot will start with 57 on this next bullet, on this next numbered list. You can also do links to other pages. So let's scroll down and see how to do that. There's 2 ways to do links. One, you can just put the URL in there and it'll still make it into a link. But if you want to have a text that is different than what the link goes to, so like it's a label of where it's going to go, and then when they click it, it goes somewhere to a URL, you can put the text inside of square brackets and then the URL inside of parentheses. Now, if you want one with a tooltip, so if I hover over it, it shows like your kennel is popping up over it to let them know like where's it going to go, maybe something in additional to the link text. You can do that as well, like this one, with putting quotes around some text inside the parentheses. So that's some common things you could do. This is what's called markdown text, and anything that is supported in the markdown standard, you can do in your text here to do all sorts of interesting stuff. These are just a lot of the highlights that most people will want to do. So since I don't want any of this content, I'm just going to I'm going to click in the box here with the text, and I'm going to hit Control A, which highlights everything. This is a Windows standard. It does it on any input across any application. If you're in a text box of any kind and do Control A, it'll highlight everything in the box. So that works here as well. And then I'm going to hit Delete or Backspace. So now there's nothing in it. And if I scroll up, it looks like it's gone. It's because there's no text in it. So now I'm going to go ahead and paste in the thing I copied earlier from what I wanted on the page. And now it's in there. And all I did here is I just typed some text, hit enter to start a new paragraph, and you just go like that. This is probably what you're going to do most of the time, is just type in some text, hit enter, and type another paragraph. And that's how you get different paragraphs on the pages, with 2 enters in front of the next piece of text, and it becomes a new paragraph. If you don't have an enter in front, it thinks it's all one paragraph. So you want to have that blank line in between one paragraph and another to make 2 different paragraphs. That's really all there is to it. Now say that I wanted this in a different spot. I can click this content and I can drag it. So I can say, you know what, I really want it after that box. Well, I can click it and I can drag it to the box after that, and now it moved down. Like, oh, I changed my mind, I'm going to move it back up in front. Now it's back on top. So you just click, drag, and let go in the box that shows where relative on the page that you want it to be. And if it's got that little red circle with a line, that means you're not doing anything. So I just barely dragged it. I didn't put it in the box. If I'm not hovering over a box, it's a red circle with a line in it, meaning I can't drop it here. Or if I drop it here, it's not going to do anything. So if you're like, oh, I don't really want to move it. I clicked on it. What am I doing? You see the red circle with the line in it? You can just safely let go. It's not going to do anything. So I think that's generally how to do text. Most of the blocks are going to be really similar. You could drag and drop any of these onto the page. Let's say I wanted another just picture besides the photos. Maybe you want to have a Breeder of Merit stamp that you got from somewhere and you want to pop it on just any page you want. You can just drag this photo widget onto the page wherever you want that. Click the photo icon. I'm going to just pick a random picture from my gallery. Your gallery is pictures you've already uploaded to your kennel. And I'm just going to, there we go. All right, so I picked that picture and it's telling me to crop it. Well, if I don't like that size, I can say, you know what, let me just change it to a different orientation. You can probably find one that is the orientation you want and put it how you want it. You can zoom in, zoom out. I think I'll go that into a different video. I need to upload, and now it's a copy of that picture but cropped to a different orientation, and now it's on the page. Now notice there's the default title above it and a caption below it. Well, what if you don't want those? Fine, you can change that. Hit the pencil icon on this picture. It'll default up here to your content text tab. There's different tabs up here that's focused on the current thing that you're editing. And I could just say, you know what, I don't want a title, I don't want a caption, because the content above it is already describing it maybe. That's fine, you can take those out. And let's say you want to change the size of things. This gets a little bit more advanced, but if you want this text to be on the left and the picture on the right, you can click on this text, pick on content size, and say, I want it to be less than half the width on the bigger screens. And now it's going to pop up and be side by side with the other thing. But I don't want to be side by that one, I want to be side by the picture. Okay, well let me add the width of this one and change it up. Oops, right clicked on accident. Make that wider. So now this thing will take full width, and this one is up here. It's only about half the width, but it's the ones above and below it are wider. So I need to also change the one below it. Also make it half. And now that picture and text are side by side. So now notice, why is there more than one size bar? That you might be wondering. These are for different size screens, and that's why each bar is longer. So the XL one is for a full-size desktop screen like I'm currently looking at. Large is a little bit smaller screens, so maybe someone on a large tablet in a landscape mode. Medium is like a tablet in vertical portrait mode. Small is kind of like a big phone, and extra small is like a smaller phone, like a iPhone 8 or something. So you can say how big you want the content on different sized devices so that no matter what device somebody's looking at your page on, they will see a nice looking page. So notice this one has got almost full width for the small size device. So if I resize my browser down, I will actually see, I'll do that on the running page. Let me save my changes, preview. We've got a content side by side, and when I make the screen smaller, it's now stacked one on top of the other, because this said it's a full width on the smaller screen, but it's half width on the bigger screen. So it's stacked right here, so it'll look good on a mobile sized device. So if somebody out at a dog show want to look at your page, they can easily see it on their phone. But if they're at home looking at it on their desktop, they'll see it side by side. So you get to control all that. It does come with a lot of sensible defaults for things, so you don't really have to mess with size. If that's a little too confusing, you can just skip that over. Or if you just want assistance with that, you can contact our support and we will walk you through how to do that. Let's see, there's a couple other things here I just wanted to show while we're in the same video. Notice there's this navigation at the top, photos, litters, pedigree. So where that comes from is sections I name on my page I design. So some of these sections don't have a name, like this says unnamed section. That's another unnamed one. This one says photos, and it also says photos here. Well, this yellow bar is not going to be in the final page. This is just like a little point for you to make an edit. It's a point where you can change color of the background. Notice the background is a different color above it than it is below it. So you could say, if I edit this section, notice I just clicked on the pencil and this toolbar up here changed. I can go to section color, and I could say, you know what, I want this to be a different shade of the color, and now it's a different color. So you can make different sections, different colors, and notice the text turned white on this darker blue, but on the lighter blue, it's black. We do a lot of the handling of colors for you, so you don't have to worry about making stuff that's unreadable to people with different levels of vision. We use Google standards for material design, and they've done a huge amount of user research to figure out what colors can people see on top of what other colors. And so all of the switching of the text color on top of the background is automatic so that it's visible to almost everybody, everybody that can see their screen. So that's one thing you can edit in your section is the colors. The section text, photos, this is what will appear in the toolbar. So I'm just going to put a 2 after photos just for a moment and scroll to the top, and now it says photos 2. So you can see that is different than the heading right here in the page. So editing this text will not change the name of the toolbar navigation at the top. It's editing the section name will change what the navigation link at the top says. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and edit that back and take the 2 out. Oh, section text, take that out. There is also a section alignment. You probably won't need to do this most of the time because the page will come with a lot of sensible defaults. But in this case, you know, it kind of might look like it's a little bit shifted to the left. You maybe want the content centered. You can make that content centered by doing section alignment. You got to click edit on the section bar. This doesn't happen for every piece of content. It's only for sections. So if I click edit in the section, go to section alignment, I can say I just want it to do center instead. And give it a moment and things will shift over. So now things shifted over. Now it's centered. Or you can even do aligning at the end if you want to. I'm going to go and put it back to flex start so my heading is on the left. So lots of things you could change there. You could check it out with these bars on how they change depending what kind of content you're editing to see what kind of things you could change. Notice I'm stuck with only 2 colors here, primary and a primary blue color and a gray color. Like, ugh, what if I don't want blue? So while you're anywhere on any piece of content, if you go to color palettes, this tab never changes. The color palettes tab is always here and never changes no matter which thing you're editing. This is what color palette for the whole page. So in this case, the primary color I have set to indigo currently, but I could pick any one of these other colors, and as I pick it, the content changes. So you can scroll down and see, oh, it changed all these background colors too because all these were a shade of the primary color. So, you know, experiment with this and see which colors you like. And notice the footer down here is in gray. So like, oh, what if I'm gray? Let's try brown. Okay, well there. Hey, brown's closer to the Great Dane color. So yeah, I like that. Change it to any colors you want. All right. Let's see. I think that covers a lot of it. We might have some more advanced videos on various widgets to make them work a little bit better. Notice this pedigree. I just want to point one thing out here because I think there's going to be a lot of questions on this. How do you edit this pedigree? I don't see any edit buttons. If I hit edit, like there's no options to edit what dogs are in the pedigree. Okay, that is intentional. This is just for layout of the page. This screen is for the layout of the page. It's not for the content. Also at the top here, you can't edit the dog information on this card using the page designer. It's just asking you what size you want to make it. That's pretty much it. The content size is the only one for this piece of content. You can size it, that's it. You can't change any of this information from the page designer. We do that over in our admin view. So who am I editing here? I'm editing Lacey. All right, so I'll just pick a different dog. It doesn't matter which one I'm doing here. If I'm out of my admin view, so this is not the page designer, right? This came directly from our main kennel page. I went to manage dogs, and I'm going to just hit view here instead of design page. So I'm going to hit view, and this is like the page about this dog. This is also how we control our slideshow images, by the way, is on from this page. So if I hit edit here, this is all the information about the dog. This is the stuff that showed up on that summary card on the page. So you edit this content and it'll update this dog's summary card on any page of your entire site that has information about this dog. Okay, so there might be some pages where you have a dog on a page because it's a sibling of another dog, and so they got a little info card there and a little banner picture. That's controlled by this. On their page with their info card at the top of their page, that's controlled by this. So you only have to enter data one time for each dog, and it affects all the pages that that dog is shown on. So you can update your titles here. It'll update on every pedigree on this entire site that has this dog on it. It'll update on every page where they're a sibling, every page where they're a parent, every page where they're a descendant or a child of the current dog being shown, because there's lots of widgets we have for different types of lists of dogs you can put on pages. You can check that blocks list on the design page for that. And so anywhere we show this dog is going to be showing this data about the dog. So this is where you edit the dog information. Now, what about the pedigree? Well, next to the edit button on the dog's page, this is the admin view, not the designing of the page for public to see, there's this pedigree icon. It kind of looks like a pedigree in this little icon. If I click on that, it will now go to the pedigree builder for this dog. And it takes a moment to load because it's regenerating it from all the litter data that we've entered and that we've imported from AKC and so on and so forth. And this shows all the dogs that are in the pedigree of this dog. Now I've got a whole new video on talking about the pedigree designer, so I'm not going to talk about this design view here. Check out the other video on how to fill out the pedigree. I just wanted to show that you edit the pedigree here, not on the designing of the page. All right, also for the pictures in the slideshow, you do that here. So I can just hit plus, I can pick a picture from my computer, upload it, and it appears in this list down here. So here's all the pictures that are in the slideshow for this dog. And up here is the picture that's the banner at the very top of the page. So we don't even use the page designer to set the banner picture at the top of the page. It uses the banner picture right here. And these are the ones in the slideshow. Now the slideshow can also have little captions below every picture as they're going through the slideshow. You edit those here as well. So on these photos, you can hit edit, you can type in a caption. I got some captions on some of these here. Yeah, edit away all these captions. Now anywhere these pictures show up, so it could be on this dog's dog page where this picture shows up. It could also be in the litter page that this dog came out of, this picture could show up on. So there's a couple other places where a picture of a dog could show up. You could, let's say on your kennel page, want to drag this particular picture out on your kennel page. Well, if you drag this picture out on your kennel page using just the page designer, it'll use the caption here by default. So you want to do all your editing of uploading your pictures, setting captions, editing dog information, editing their pedigree, all just from the general admin view. It's just data entry, normal kind of data entry application interface. You change your banner image here with this camera, add new pictures here. You could delete pictures from your slideshow as well. One note, when you delete a picture from the slideshow, it does not delete it from your gallery. What it does is it will It'll keep track of how many times any given picture is used, and if there's a picture that is no longer used because maybe this is the only place you had it uploaded, if you delete it from here and it was the only place it was used, we'll still keep it in your gallery for up to 30 days. And if you don't decide to ever use it again, then we'll purge it from the system entirely and it'll just be gone. So if you want to keep a picture, keep it on your dog page or keep it on one of your design pages and we'll keep it. But if you want us to get rid of a picture, just remove everywhere it's used and it'll get purged from your gallery. All right, I think we have shown how to add text anywhere we want and make it anything we want it to say. So if you have any more questions than that, now's a good time to rewind and watch it again if you didn't catch something there, or you can contact our email at help@caninezeal.com. You can also go to our Facebook group. We've got a link to that on our homepage, on the caninezeal.com homepage, and we hope to hear from you.